InfoNile, we are a collaborative cross-border group of geo-journalists with a mission to uncover critical stories on water and environment in the Nile River Basin of Africa through data-based multimedia storytelling. We are part of Water Journalists Africa, the largest network of journalists reporting about issues of water and environment on the continent, made up of more than 700 journalists from over 50 countries.
Post-COVID has been challenging, but at InfoNile, during the year 2022, we managed to provide story grants to journalists to conduct data-based environmental journalism projects. Over 90 journalists from 10 countries in the Nile Basin were supported with grants to cover InfoNile stories and produce data visualizations.
In 2022, we were also able to train 168 journalists, editors, and science communication students from more than 14 countries in 9 training programs focused on data and science journalism.
Mentorship and training in data journalism and science communication is something we here at InfoNile are passionate about. In 2022, we mentored 90 journalists from across the Nile Basin to produce and publish over 125 database stories. Hot for Africa is one of our core partners in data training and mentorship.
Before participating in our program, just 17% of the journalists said they usually use data visualization in their stories, while 83% of the journalists said they rarely incorporated data. But after our program, 66% of journalists said they usually or always use data visualization in their stories.
Journalists also value the skills learned overall in InfoNile program. Data sourcing, data analysis, and visualization skills increased in our various data journalism training and mentorship programs based on assessment of journalists before and after the program.
In an effort to increase connections and collaborations between journalists and scientists, in 2022, we also launched our flagship Nile platform. The platform involves direct communication between users, science journalism discussion forums, stories, and resources such as scientific research and data visualizations. More than 300 journalists and scientists have so far registered for accounts.
In 2021, InfoNile supported 10 journalists from 9 countries to document everyday water stories around the Nile River and its tributaries. Published under the hashtag EverydayNile, the photojournalism outreach project is meant to capture everyday life in the Nile Basin countries and aims at promoting cooperation and understanding of the water issues around the Nile River as a shared natural resource. In 2022, InfoNile was able to support 2 of the photographers to take the photos back to the communities they covered for the exhibition and discussion. The first community photo exhibition was held at Ripon landing site, the closest site to the source of the Nile River in Uganda that was impacted by flooding in 2020. The second community exhibition was held at Rusinga Island, an island in Lake Victoria in Kenya, displaying photos about a group of fishermen who had switched to using solar-powered lamps to fish at night, rather than kerosene lamps. Along with working with journalists, we strive to reach young people who are early in their careers, to interest them in science journalism from a young age. From October to December, we organized the second edition of the Science Communication Competition for university students in Africa on the theme of groundwater and biodiversity.
I'm so excited. I can't believe this. I mean, I've learned a lot from this. Efforts yield positivity. This is all I can say. I love the teamwork. I love all the qualities that we implemented in. A scientist, a technician, a journalist. I like that, and I really enjoy the teamwork here. Thanks, InfoNile, and thank you for giving us this praise.
We asked the students to produce stories communicating science using videos, podcasts, texts, and photo stories. Submissions were judged by a panel of scientists and journalists. The 3 top winners were awarded in a ceremony in December 2022 and received small cash prizes.
In 2022, InfoNile projects were funded by JRS Biodiversity Foundation, DUPC2, IHE Delft Water and Partnership Program, the Earth Journalism Network, the Nile Basin Initiative, and Media in Cooperation and Transition. Our other clients and partners also included Traffic, WaterAid, GIZ, Media for Environment, Science, Health and Agriculture, Oxpecker's Investigative Environmental Journalism, the French Embassy in Uganda, and the African Youth Initiative on Climate Change.
At InfoNile, in Water Journalists Africa, we will continue leading the way in reporting, in covering environment-driven journalism with innovation and excellence. We commit to continuing to push boundaries and thinking outside the box. Together with you and all our partners, we can continue to achieve great success with the stories we cover and make real impact in our industry and the world at large. We commit to striving for success and being the organization that sets the standard for data and science journalism in the Nile Basin. We are open to new partnerships to help us achieve and expand impact. InfoNile, let's make it happen.